Thanks to Coach Richard for joining us. And here they are, Northside Insurance starting lineups for tonight. We'll have to go through them quick as we are ready to roll here in Knoxville. They're the starting five for the Panthers. Flipping over quickly to the starters for the Newton Cardinals here over on the visitor side. There they are, and now we are ready for tip. Let's bring it in here as the ball is up. Baycorn on a second swing at it. Gets it all the way back on the Panther side of the floor, but tracked down by Duncan, and we are underway in this Class 4A Region 4 quarterfinal. Thank you for joining us on Go SEC TV. As I said in the comment section there, we'd love hearing from you as Knoxville's going to turn it over on the first possession. Baycorn got double teamed, and it was Reynolds, Sophia Reynolds, who comes out with it for Knoxville. And what do we have here? Shot clock. The shot clock was not running, so the official will have a reset here, make sure that that is fully functional and operational. They do get it down to 29 seconds, which is probably somewhere in the ballpark of where it should have been. Anyway, I hear all the time from our players and coaches of the games that we broadcast. They love going back, hearing from their family and friends that can't be in the building. And I know we've got state wrestling going on. Trust me, I know that better than just about anybody. As Reynolds gets to the rim, however, could not finish. And the rebound for Baycorn, who shovels it off to Larissa Wells. Back the other way for the Panthers. Off to Emma Duncan, who drives. Runner doesn't go. Got her own miss. Emma looks for an outlet, goes to Wells. Larissa on the drive. Got that partially blocked by Alex Jarvis of the Cardinals. It'll stay on this end with Knoxville 50 seconds in. So if you're still up in Des Moines and watching here with us, cheering on either the Panthers or Cardinals, we don't discriminate, although, of course, we are a little bit partial to the South Central Conference, as you would imagine, being Go SEC TV. Shout them out. We are happy to throw it out there as well, as Emma Duncan throws one up on the rim and got it to fall. The Panthers strike first, and here's some pressure from Knoxville, and having an opportunity to chat a little bit with fourth-year head coach of Newton, Eric Vandervelde, and he said pressure really causes us some problems, and we see it here. First time rolling it out, first turnover of the game for the Newton Cardinals, a squad that averages 20 giveaways per contest. Minute 15 into this one, 2-0. Knoxville with the lead. It's a busy night around the conference, too. Still three other teams besides the Panthers who are alive in postseason basketball. We'll be checking in on a couple of those here as we go throughout this evening's broadcast. Baycorn dribbles it off her foot right into the hands of Haley Dickerson. Couple of turnovers for Knoxville here in the first 90 seconds. Reynolds, she's the one that's going to have the ball in her hand. She's the scorer, just shy of 14 points per game, 298 attempts on the year. That's by far and away the most for this Cardinal bunch. But they have a little inside-outside game with her being that guard, but then their starting center, Katie Horn, a 5'11 senior, too, number 34. You'll hear from her as a travel call goes against Alex Jarvis, and the Cardinals give it up for a second time. Stopping the clock just shy of 2 minutes, having ticked away here in the first quarter. This Newton team, I mentioned their record 3-18 overall, 1-13 here out of the Little Hawkeye Conference. But as we saw last night in Eddyville with the EBF Rockets, the third-ranked team in all of Class 2A, with Emma Duncan picking up, or did she? Our official kind of put that elbow out there, making me think that Emma might have picked up an offensive foul, but instead Jarvis is called for the elbow into the body of Duncan. So the foul against the Cardinals, first team foul, and Baycorn will inbound from in front of the Newton bench, finding Emma Duncan. We saw in that game with EBF and Pella Christian also from the Little Hawkeye Conference. Pella Christian came in well under 500 as well, as Emma Duncan splits the defense, and she's got all 4 points on the board for the Panthers as they're off to a 4-0 start here in the ball game. This time Newton a much better job breaking the press. Horn for a jumper left in the lane, can't get it to fall. Butel is there for the board. But they had EBF there sweating a little bit early on, trailing 9-3 at the end of the first quarter. Little Hawkeye Conference is a really good one, especially girls basketball, as Baycorn's three misses, but Emma Duncan there for the rebound. Wells has it pop out on a three-ball attempt. Rebound for Reynolds, and Baycorn a little slow to get up. She's going to jog her way back on defense, but something to keep an eye on there. She got tangled up trying to find some positioning for a rebound. Here, she got in the right position for a steal. Her first of the night, and that's one of the things she does best for this team. 4 per game, 80 total, now 81 on the season in now this being the 22nd game. Duncan, Hannah this time, made a catch amongst a couple of black jerseys, but a foul called against the Cardinals. It will be whistled and tagged to Sophia Reynolds. The first on the junior, leading scorer, passer, and turnover creator at 3 steals a game. Beautiful find. Emma Duncan finding Baycorn curling around under the basket. Now Brittany's got herself another steal and an easy lay-in. Just like that, a 4-0 run from Brittany Baycorn by herself. And it's an 8-0 start to the game for the black and gold. Reynolds dribbling through traffic, 4-on-1 here, banked it in. Knoxville did not do a very good job that time in the full court press, and Coach Matt Richards letting them hear about it as the Panthers come back offensively. After that first wave, all that was left was Anna Butel against 4 Cardinals, and that's not good math. Here, Hannah Duncan gets her shot partially deflected, and Horn ends up with the missed attempt. Now off to Reynolds, and Panthers will drop back. We hit the halfway point of the first quarter. 8-2 Knoxville. It was 4-0 before Brittany Baycorn scored 4 by herself. Here, just inside the arc, jumper for Wormiger is off the mark, and the rebound there for Butel. We stay at a 6-point game with 3:45 to go in the opening frame. 23, Hannah Duncan in the corner, keeps it herself. Outstanding sophomore campaign she's had, now leading the way for Knoxville. She and her sister Emma have been going back and forth for that team lead in scoring. Just over 14 a game for Hannah, just over 14 as well. It's 14.4 to 14.3 if you want to know. Emma drives baseline, finds Baycorn, and a 3-second violation goes against Brittany Baycorn, and she can't believe it. Holding the hands out there, it's a pretty good indicator that she did not agree with the call. But it'll be a turnover for the Panthers. As Butel and Wells both take a seat, we see for the first time tonight Natalie Collins and Anna Anderson for Knoxville. As Reynolds inbounds to Jarvis. She dribbles into a double team. Reynolds after getting it back. Also, Newton has brought in Audrey Roush. A triple team comes over to 15 Jarvis, but she got it away from that. And now Newton will set up in the half court as we will hit the 3-minute mark on this possession. Reynolds to the free throw line for Horn, extended. Left side for 23. Dickerson on the drive, and she got bumped. A couple free throws coming. First of the night for either side. And they will belong to Haley Dickerson. As number 5, Natalie Collins, picks up her first personal. Dickerson on the season is 29% at the line, 9 of 31. Has not been very friendly to her, and it will continue to not be. Again, a major shout out to the Knoxville Panther Booster Club, by the way. You just saw their logo again for being our presenting sponsor tonight of this Class 4A Region 4 quarterfinal. Couldn't have done it without them. Second one also misses. Horn, though, with an offensive board, puts it back up and in. Katie Horn's on the board. Doing it how she does best. Leads this team 49 offensive rebounds per game, now 50. And just over 5 points a game. It's a 4-point contest now. 8-4 Knoxville still leads. However, a 4-0 run at the moment for the Newton Cardinals. Knoxville scored the first 8 points of the game. Baycorn's going to try a baseline jumper, but that falls off the backside. Anna Anderson, though, is there on the spot for a board. Out to Hannah Duncan. Her 3 is off the rim. There's Baycorn. How about a third chance? Brittany backs it out. Gives it over to Emma Duncan. Emma on the drive, lost it. Poked away, and it ends up with Alex Jarvis on the 4th turnover by the Panthers. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go here in our first frame of this Class 4A Region 4 quarterfinal. Roush hands it off to Reynolds between the circles. Reynolds will pull Emma Duncan away from the arc here defensively. Now swings it right to Jarvis. Inside feed got by Anderson. Did 23 Dickerson, but couldn't make the shot. And Emma Duncan is away with it, trying to take it all the way coast to coast. However, was it tipped out of her hands here as it rolls out of bounds? Our officials have to confer, and it will be in Panther basketball. It was tipped away from the talented senior, Emma Duncan, who, as Coach Richard mentioned in our pregame interview, besides what she's able to do scoring the ball, she's a great passer, too. Got a nice dime inside again to Baycorn, but this time a little bit more contested than the earlier bucket she made on the same baseline out of bounds draw up from Coach Richard. And it's out of bounds off the Cardinals. Knoxville will keep it with 1:40 to go here in the first quarter, and still leading by 4. Of course, you know all that by looking at the bottom of your screen with our score bug, brought to you by Sundance Realty right here in Knoxville. 112 East Robinson Street, to be exact. Give them a call at 641-842-7210. one forward. And Sophia Reynolds, something to monitor here, just picked up her second personal foul on that drive from Hannah Duncan. As Larissa Wells is back into the game to replace Anna Anderson. Reynolds, not only that, is also a little hobbled going over to the sideline, favoring a little bit of a limp there as she'll check out Alex Riney into the game for the first time tonight, the 5'6" sophomore. That's a lot they lose with Reynolds on the sideline with those two personal fouls. As we mentioned, team leader by far in offense at just shy of 14 a game. Little floater baseline for Hannah Duncan is off the mark. The rebound came to the Cardinals, and here we go back the other way with Alex Riney in a minute 20 to go in the opening frame. Trying to get the ball into Horn. That time was Roush, but off her fingertips and out of bounds. The Cardinals have turned it over 5 times by my count here, and we haven't quite played the opening 8 minutes. Here, Emma Duncan will bring it up. As I mentioned earlier, 14.3 points a game, but 5 assists per outing to 106 assists on the year. Collins drives baseline, stops there, gives it up to Baycorn. We tick under 60 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Emma Duncan gets it back all the way in, puts it up, got fouled, almost got it to fall too, but Katie Horn brought that right arm down and caught a piece of not only a little bit of the basketball, it seemed, but also Emma Duncan. So a couple free throws coming for the senior, who on the year 70% at the stripe. Second on the team, 59 of 84, only trailing her sister, Hannah, in free throw percentage. And she hits the first tier. She's got 5 in the opening quarter. That's the difference up on the board. As Natalie Collins is out, back in comes Anna Butel for the black and gold. Towing the line once more, Emma Duncan going to add to the early quick start here for her offensively, and she does. She's got 6. 10-4 with 50 seconds remaining in our opening quarter. Hannah Duncan tips it away from her fellow 23, Haley Dickerson, out of bounds. Cardinals will inbound from in front of a little bit of a smaller Panther pit than what we're used to, the student section here at Knoxville High School. Of course, I imagine a lot of the community and students are up there at the state wrestling championships. And there's a 3 from Roush, and looking over at that Knoxville sideline, Coach Richhart almost had his head fall off his shoulders. He talked about it in the pregame show. He thinks Roush is a much better shooter than what the percentages say. Baycorn trying to answer, and she does. Brittany got it to roll around a couple of times, but fall. Her now 4th made 3 of the year. 3 of 24 coming into tonight, but hits her first attempt of the evening. Jarvis, top of the key for 20, Riney, who hits a 3. 13-10 with the final 5 ticks of the first quarter coming. In transition, Emma Duncan put it up there short. Riney got the board, and that's all she wrote for our first frame in Knoxville. We got ourselves a one-possession ball game here. Much different than the 17-3 contest it was back the last time these two meet, when on February 4th, Knoxville held that 14-point lead going into the second. We're going to take a timeout and bring you back for that second frame right here on Go SEC TV.